All right, this is Guy Eagle again with the Renewable Wisdom Trails Library and Cosmology. And we are continuing on our exploration of the natural principles or guidelines is probably an easier transition for people to get behind. They're guidelines on how to start working our way back to in right relationship with the first circle. 17 and 7 is this one. 17, collective consciousness. 7, individual consciousnesses. Here again, this is one that's often confusing to a lot of folks. So I'm going to try to summarize a little bit based on what I've learned the questions are. The general heading that was passed on to us, it's about dreams. And they call it open and closed symbols of the dream. What are open and closed symbols? Well, we like to use the word imprints instead of symbols, although symbols works really well too. But we have open imprints, in other words, information and forces of the where we exist flow freely through those imprints, just giving us movement. Or imprints like memories that are just closed right up. We're not going to touch them. We're not going to even unlock them. We don't want nothing to do with them. Those are closed symbols or closed imprints. Of the dream, if you really get into the ancient histories, they called this a dream. Now we call this existence, or this is my life, this is my identity. But it's a dream. And it's a daydream. This is how we dream in the day. We also have a night dream, like how we dream when we fall asleep as we know it. Are we really asleep? There's a lot of sciences that have proven that to be wrong. We are busy. We're doing things. We're resting our daydream while our night dream is active. During our daydream, the night dream rests. That's the basic understanding. So what does this category have to do with the principle? Well, it's about extending your relations. And it is the relatedness. It's the basic principle or guideline that asks you to be aware of the relatedness to your relations. So right now, what are we doing with making these videos? We are extending our relations. We're extending what we are learning to whatever humans are willing to listen in this video kind of media. But we're also giving this information to the wind as it's blowing by us. We're giving it to the tree that's providing the shade for me right now and for Dreamweaver. We're extending it to the animals that are coming by here, the birds that are singing to us, the occasional raven in the distance. There's a big raven around here. I just saw it for the first time yesterday. It looked like it was an eagle because it was like a quarter mile away. It was huge in the tree. Anyway, there's lots of other animals around here. A lot of deer passing through, a couple bear last week I hear. We're extending this information. We're giving it away. We're not holding on to it so it creates an identity. We don't need to create identity. We already have one. Look, all our witnesses. They're telling us we exist and we have value. We don't need to hold on to it to create some kind of value. That's man-made. That's not first circle given. That's a big difference. Extending our relationships. For me, I've been at it a long time, so I've had to work through many different ways of extending my relations, whether it be phone calls to human relations in the morning, daily walks out in the wilderness. I try to walk in the wild. I try not to walk in domestic areas, although I do, because those are my relations too. But I try to make it a point that at least a couple times a day that I make sure I'm conscious of extending my relations and passing on what I'm learning, what I'm thinking, theories I'm playing with, I'm bouncing around to see if it breaks or it doesn't. Extending the relations is about this open and closed imprints of the dream, or open and closed symbols of the dream. And just for a quick translation before we move on, you can have a symbol of something and still be an imprint. And that's usually how it works. So right now, for example, I am imprinting, I'm recording this experience with these trees around us, the blue sky, the way the sun's shining, the way the air smells, all that is being imprinted in my body. And there are symbols associated with that imprint that are going to stand out when I go to recall the making of this video. Those specific pine trees will be a symbol of this imprint, or of this part of the dream. The way the tree is behind me will be a symbol. This purple chair will be a symbol of this experience, this imprint. That's how it works. There's something my consciousness is going to use to put a timestamp, if you will, on this experience, and then record it somewhere in my energy system or in my physical body. Or maybe it'll just be recorded in this tree, and I just have to remember the tree, and information will come back to me. Works in mysterious ways. Everybody doesn't have to be conscious of how it works. It just needs to know it does. That's the Great Spirit. Anyway, that's all I got on this one for now. So I hope you can go try it out. I hope you can enjoy it. Come and be with us in the next one.